Namaste. Welcome back to Waking Up with Mindful Surrender Yoga. And again, this is likely to be another very imperfect video from a very imperfect person who feels compelled to come here to share for her own benefit, as well as hopefully benefiting someone else who may just be on this journey. I'll be answering questions from the jar. My questions will not be perfect. They will be there solely to help me learn and assimilate, not solely to help me learn and assimilate, but with the intention of helping me to learn and assimilate knowledge that I've studied over the last 25 some years of my life. But it's also, I need you to know that they're going to be very imperfect. They're my opinion, basically, what I've learned. And I would encourage you to take everything I say here with a grain of salt. Check it out with other resources. Check to other people, the experts who are more expert than I am in this. And more importantly, look inside yourself to see if it resonates, because true wisdom will resonate from the inside out. So here I go. I am going to reach in and I'm going to grab a question. I better get my timer set up because I tend to forget to do that. And I will reset it. Good. So I'm going to read the question briefly just to make sure it's not one I've done before. I don't know if I did this one before. How can we use the body to get rid or get free of karma? How can we use the body to get free of karma? I will put my start button on. I have a time to go. I'm going to take a deep breath to kind of center myself. It's almost like I'm trying to breathe the ego right out of me, which is still very much attached to me. Believe me, I have a very big ego still. I am not that yet involved. So how can we use the body to get free of karma? I guess the ultimate goal for the yogi, for anybody who's becoming aware, more aware and awakened, the ultimate goal is to free ourselves of karma. Now, what is karma? Karma isn't what we tend to think it is. It isn't punishment for the things we've done wrong in life. Karma is a learning guide. It is a wonderful instructor that points out to us when we are missing the mark, when we're traveling along this path towards freedom and enlightenment, towards self-realization, towards leaving the me-ness of who we think we are behind for the reality of who we are. It helps us to get there. So when we fall off that path, when we do something, for example, that hurts another person or hurts ourselves, and we reap a consequence for it, it may not even be a direct consequence. Maybe you've said something to somebody that had a really negative effect on their life. Then you find later on that someone is saying something similar and may not even be similar to you, and that's having a negative effect on your life, or something else happens that has a negative effect on your life, and you find you're struggling all of a sudden, dealing with guilt feelings and dealing with shame or whatever it is that this causes. That is your karma. That is the universe telling you, life telling you, okay, you fell off the path again when you did that. You need to bring yourself back on. When we lose sight of our goal, even though we may not be consciously aware of that goal, and it is the human goal, beyond form and mind, to evolve, to change, to grow, to expand, to learn. Souls, it's said that souls are here to evolve, right? So as the soul, as the essence of who we are, and I like to think of that in terms of our consciousness, our level of awareness. We are awareness. We're just not aware we are awareness, though we tend to forget that when we're staring at these little me's and these little psyches with all their drama and getting so lost, and then we forget who we really are as awareness. It is this awareness, a goal to expand and grow in more awareness. And when we fall off that, because say we got caught up in making money and and then we're unintentionally or intentionally hurting other people to get that money, and the next thing you know, our business is collapsing and we're suffering from poverty ourselves. That isn't life punishing us for what we've done wrong when we think of karma. That is actually life saying, okay, you're off the mark. Let's get back on track. This feels uncomfortable. I got your attention. Let's see what we can do with it. Let's learn and grow. It is not about doing wrong and being punished for it. It's about constantly going forward in the direction of higher knowledge, higher wisdom, higher self-realization, and being guided to do so. And that's what karma basically is. So the body, of course, is this physical entity we're in, very temporal, finite, very limited vehicle that we're in from the time we're born until the time we die, So we are here in this body for a certain amount of time, and it's the time we're given in this incarnation to evolve and to grow. The true goal, then, whether you believe in reincarnation or not, but according to Hindu texts and Buddhist texts, is to stop the reincarnation. So it is said that we are in this body for a short period of time. When we're done with this body, we'll just fall back into Source, and from Source we'll come back and be incarnated into another body to live out another set of circumstances and learning potentials. And then when we're done with that, we'll go back to Source and then be born into another body. And that's how reincarnation is understood. And it's important to note that reincarnation was actually in the Christian understanding things up until, or what the biblical Judeo-Christian understanding of things, up until I think it was between 50 AD and 150 AD with the conferences of Nicene and Constantinople, and it was removed from the Bible because it was seen as a threat to the church's ability to control people politically and socially. Because you could be your own priest, basically, if you believed in reincarnation and you believed in karma, that you could just, you weren't worried about not doing it. Was like, it's set for moral standards and whatnot. But when karma is basically how we are given the opportunity to learn, we think of it in that way, and we think of reincarnation as this continuous wheel of existences until we learn what the soul is here to learn, until the soul expands to its full potential and experiences life through us. We're going to continue reliving these little short learning lessons from, they may last anywhere from a few years to 100 years for some of us. So it's like, what are you learning in that time, and how many times are you going to incarnate till you learn that? And that's the wheel of samsara. So how do we end the wheel of samsara? How do we end this learning from taking place? Well, when we learn all we need to learn and we graduate with honors with our PhD, we don't have to go back to school. We got everything we need to learn here, right? So it's all about trying to graduate from life school, trying to get as much learning as we can. And what we're trying to learn is who we are at the deepest level, who we are as this higher being, as this one consciousness that is in everything, trying to experience itself through everything and everyone. And when we learn that, we will be free of the karmic wheel. We'll be free of the wheel of samsara. We will not have to come back. Learning that is, we're going to make mistakes, right? We're going to get lost in this idea of who we think we are, this little me that we're focusing all this amazing, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent power on into these little selves, our conscious energy. We're putting all our conscious energy on these little selves, these little me's that we've come to identify as, with all their dramas and their likes and their dislikes, and they're trying to manipulate the world so that they feel comfortable inside and push away, which is equivalent to repression, suppression, that which makes them feel uncomfortable. And that's how we spend our whole life struggling from the time we're born to the time we die doing. If we could see that there's a karmic value in that, to see that we can get beyond the meanness. And once we get beyond the meanness, well, we're going to be at a higher level of understanding. We're going to be free. We're going to get to that liberation. And once we truly realize it, we won't have to come back into another incarnation to experience any more learning. We use the body. It's our actions and our speech. When we talk about how do we use the body to end karma, free ourselves of karma, we use our body. We make the right choices, wholesome, healthy, skillful choices that keep us on path towards that goal of self-realization, towards that goal of freedom and liberation. The most important thing we can do here is work towards freeing ourselves. And anything else we do in this life with these bodies is insignificant if it's not used to help us gain our freedom from karma, to help us gain our freedom from the ego or the me or the pull that it has that's constantly bringing us down into a higher level of energetic existence. We can be so much more than this. And karma is there to help us learn that. So you will have negative circumstances, pain, suffering, whatever, when you're off course. Just investigate it a little bit. Say, okay, what can I do differently? Am I operating from ego, or am I operating from the higher part of me when I make these decisions with my body? What my body does, what my speech does. What does my speech say? What does it offer the world? What does it offer me and offer the world? Is it beneficial, skillful, wholesome, helpful, compassionate, kind? Or is it serving the ego, which makes it probably none of those things? And so that is what we can do when we're looking at karma with the body. We can use the body to serve karma. Karma is here to serve us as a teaching tool, but we can use our bodies to serve karma, so we can finally end it and learn what we're here to learn. Well, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for joining me, and I do hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.